the Nigerian Senate has moved to amend the 2022 Electoral Act, disregarding a federal high court order restraining the National Assembly from tampering with the newly Amendment Act. Well, Senate President Ahmad Lawan, during his first reading of the amendment of the Electoral Act, said the Constitution stipulates separation of powers and the judiciary cannot stop another arm of government in performing its roles in a democracy.
According to him, the Constitution of Nigeria is based on the presidential system of government, where there is a clear-cut separation of powers and exercise of powers, and judiciary under no circumstance can stop the legislature, the National Assembly as well, from performing its legislative duties. President Muhammadu Buhari had written to the National Assembly seeking amendment of Section 84, subsection 12 of the Electoral Amendment Act 2022, after complaining that the provision constituted fundamental defect and was in conflict with exact constitutional provisions. Now, according to him, Section 84, subsection 12 constitutes a disenfranchisement of serving political office holders from voting or being voted for at conventions or congresses of any political party.
But the court in a ruling delivered by Justice Iyan Ikwo on Monday, March 7, specifically barred all the defendants in the suit from removing Section 84, subsection 12 of the Electoral Act or preventing it from being implemented for the purpose of the 2023 general elections. So this is also another judicial issue that's actually burning at the front burner of Nigeria's political system, and both of them that we've just discussed and touched on all focus on the political sphere, where one sitting governor has been removed, I beg your pardon, and on the other side you have the National Assembly still saying they can go ahead to make adjustments to the Electoral Amendment Bill, regardless of the fact that the judiciary has actually stipulated or has actually given a go-ahead. So these situations are indeed begging for answers as we speak right about now. Do they or do they not have the right to actually go ahead and do so? Well, the Senate President has come out to say that, listen, regardless, we also have our process. So even if the judiciary has said this, we also have our own process to follow. So we can do as we please. Aside that, if the president has written to us and say, look into this, we also have the right to do that, regardless of the fact that the court has also made mention that this is it.
The Senate President has indeed come out with his other members. They've all come out to look at a lot of constitution amendment in recent times. Now, in addition to what we've also discussed just yesterday, they went back to the drawing board. They went back to look at some of the bills that was thrown out of the window sometime last week. And all of this review was because of the protest that was done across the nation, Nigeria, looking at the International Women's Day, #breaking the bias. A lot of women came out to say, look at those bills that you have gone through out of the window. 68 of those bills were reviewed last week. Out of the 68, 5 were gendered or were geared towards the female gender in particular. Now, those 5 were thrown out last week, but yesterday, out of those 5, 3 were brought back to the drawing board. Now, we saw it in the papers this morning, looking at the Punch newspaper and the Daily Nation, looking at how women came out to protest, talking about how even the governor's wife, a lot of governors in Nigeria, their wives came out also, they marched down to the National Assembly to protest, talking about how women need to be put in politics, how women need to have our own quota. Now, I think we're fighting for about 30-35% of that quota that should be given to women so that we can have more participation in politics.
Which many say is still small and they're still asking for a 50-50. But I mean, it's just a start and not bad. If you have a 35%, I mean, it's just one way. It's like saying you have a 1.5 leg in.
Why can't we have 50-50 in the first place?
Well, you might want to continue this debate later on because I'm not cut out for that this morning. But you can have your say as well. Feel free to talk to us. And in the course of the Breakfast Central show, we'll look forward to have judicial experts who will be joining us later on. And we will be discussing these very, very particular topic as we move on.